I didn't have a Floyd Mayweather to stand behind me and tell me, about what's right and what's wrong.
Davis's corner. So you have Coach Calvin, and Coach Calvin is the head trainer, and you have Coach Kenny, who really specializes on preparing game plans specifically for opponents.
Gervonta-Davis has reunited with Floyd Mayweather ahead of his highly anticipated rematch against Lamont Roach. Mayweather expressed nothing but support for Davis, saying he's proud of everything the young star has accomplished, he referred to Gervonta as being like a son to him, and said he doesn't take it personally when Davis speaks out publicly. Floyd made it clear he only wants Davis to succeed and hopes this renewed partnership brings more power and focus into the rematch.
Tank Vince out on social media. He's been through a lot, throughout his life. But I take my hat off to him. I'm proud of him. Saturday night we had a game plan, and a lot of times when he says certain things on social media, I say, he's to me he's still a kid, and when I was that age, I probably would have did the same thing. I didn't have a Floyd Mayweather to stand behind me and tell me, about what's right and what's wrong. He got the job done, but my hat off to Ryan Garcia, tough competitor, tough fighter, and the best man won.
New footage out of Gervonta-Davis's training camp in Las Vegas reveals a fighter deeply locked into preparation mode. Each sparring session appears carefully planned, with reports pointing to improved stamina, refined footwork, and full mental engagement. Sources close to the camp, sharing behind-the-scenes clips, describe Davis as locked in and laser-focused. This isn't just routine camp work, it marks a strategic shift, signaling Davis is evolving his approach for one of the most important fights of his career. After Gervonta-Davis split from Mayweather Promotions, Floyd Mayweather publicly backed the decision. He applauded Davis's drive to take control of his career, saying more power to him. That message reinforced their connection, even with business ties cut. It also showed Floyd's respect for Davis's independence and ambition. The relationship between them has always been more mentor and protege than promoter and fighter, based on support, not control. In that respect, seems to remain firmly intact.
And there's nothing like taking a kid that come from the same background as you and helping them and put them in a position to become a multi-millionaire. You meet a kid, he come up to you for an autograph. You sign an autograph for him, then I tell him, in a few years when you get older, I'm gonna work with you and I'm gonna make you world champion someday. Years later, I started working with him, helped him, pushed him to be great. And if he feels like, he's grew wings where he can fly and become his own boss, more power to him.
Floyd Mayweather has kept a close watch on Davis's career, especially when it comes to recognition on the pound-for-pound list. Concerns were raised that Davis wasn't getting the respect he deserved because of his past with Mayweather Promotions. Floyd addressed that directly, saying no fighter should be overlooked based on affiliations. He's been vocal in defending Davis's talent, insisting he deserves top status in boxing. It's a reflection of his ongoing mentorship, one that supports Davis inside and outside the ring.
When is Gervonta-Davis going to go somewhere in the pound for pound? Anui deserve to be in the pound for pound? Absolutely. Do Terrence Crawford deserve to be in the pound for pound? Absolutely. But what about Gervonta Davis? He deserve to be somewhere also in the pound for pound.
Why don't they give him that credit?
Because he was affiliated with me.
Determined to avoid any missteps, Davis has reassembled the core team from his most dominant years. He's brought back trusted coaches, sparring partners, conditioning experts, and strategy advisors who know his style inside out. This move shows Davis is taking full accountability for this camp. Sessions have been intense, focusing on situational sparring and high-pressure drills. The goal is simple: walk into the ring with zero weaknesses. Davis is leaving no stone unturned this time.
Was anybody else who is a Tank Gervonta Davis fan nervous watching that fight last night? I was nervous after probably the third round. I was like, yeah, I don't know about this. And here's the thing. I think we all know Tank didn't take this fight as serious as he should have. In the post-fight press conference, he said he didn't know what round it was. He said he lost track of the rounds. That's not like him to do that. But I think he went in with the same game plan he typically does, where he just wears these guys down and then kind of baits them into just a crazy uppercut counter. And if you saw in the 11th and 12th round, he was going for it, but he couldn't connect it because this Lamont Roach guy, he's fast, he's quick. And as a Baltimore native, I wanted Tank to win. I wanted him to win. The whole Be More DC thing, I wanted him to win. I don't know if y'all saw when Tank was getting his hands wrapped, he was yawning. He didn't take it serious. But one silver lining is that he's probably not retiring now. He's got to take that rematch. And here's the thing, when he takes that rematch, when they do fight again, this fight, Tank's going to win this handily. He'll probably win it in the 7th or 8th. But yeah, it wasn't a draw. Tank lost that fight. Yeah, he took a knee. Strategically, he took a knee. But he took a knee. Tank lost that fight, unfortunately. But I'm excited for that rematch. I feel like it's probably going to be the most watched boxing match in history.
The original split between Davis and Mayweather Promotions made headlines. It was a very public disagreement. Davis wanted independence, while Floyd preferred a structured setup. That created a tense moment in what had been a tight mentor-student dynamic. Now that they've reunited, people see this not just as closure, but as a matured, strategic decision. Both seem to understand the split had to happen, but coming back together now suggests renewed purpose and a shared focus on winning.
And I expect to get respect by letting me speak.
Thank you. Floyd, I want to switch gears real quick, man. Gervonta said, I'm not signed to a single soul. So is Tank now a free agent, or is he still signed with Mayweather Promotions?
Well, this is the Mayweather-Deji press conference. So I'm here to talk about Dubai. I'm here to talk about entertaining the people, having fun. And I'm not here to talk disrespectful or bad about any fighter. They say America is the land of the free. So we live, we love, and we keep striving each and every day. That's what life is about.
Davis has also reunited with longtime coach Calvin Ford, whose bond with him is built on years of trust, structure, and shared goals. Their early work together helped mold Davis into a champion. Now, their reunion brings back that essential chemistry. Ford understands Davis better than most, his habits, strengths, and rhythm. Having Ford in his corner again brings more than strategy. It brings the familiar voice and stability that could be crucial in high-stakes moments during the fight.
He's 100% correct. Personally, I had Gervonta Davis up a round. Because whenever you have rounds where nobody's doing anything, I'm not just going to do what most people do, and especially people that don't like Gervonta Davis, which is just give the round to the other guy because Gervonta Davis didn't manage to knock him out that round. Okay, so this is Gary Russell Jr. clearly saying, man, no, I don't think Lamont Roach won that fight. You also had Al Bernstein, and Al Bernstein, I'm telling you, is a very, very straight, fair guy who I don't know if he was on that call, but he used to work with Showtime. I don't know if he was on there. I don't recall if I heard him. I think it was Rolly Ronaldo that was calling it. But Al Bernstein, who was a very, very objective person, said, hey, look, no. Sorry to break it to you, but Gervonta Davis won that fight. Yeah, Lamont Roach put up a really good fight, but Lamont Roach was not dynamic. He did not do anything to really separate himself from Gervonta Davis. He just kept it equal. He just tried to keep it even the entire fight. And that's not enough, again, to take the belt from the champion. Now, I do want to say that the people that thought that Lamont Roach won, I don't have any problem with that. I really don't. have a problem with it at all. I personally, again, had a point for Gervonta-Davis, but I could see how those swing rounds really could go, depending on who's looking at it, really could go different ways, right?
Adding to the coaching firepower, Kenny Ellis returns as a key figure in Davis's prep. Ellis brings sharp tactical vision and an eye for mid-fight strategy. He's in charge of making sure Davis can adapt in real-time, analyzing Roach's habits as they unfold, correcting positioning, and reinforcing the plan between rounds. With Ford's deep connection and Ellis's real-time adjustments, Davis has a well-rounded coaching duo. Their combined approach blends experience, insight, and chemistry that boosts both confidence and composure.
Think about the fact that, that Lamont Roach was seen at a basketball game chugging a beer. And I would have added to the question that you see Lamont Roach out giving a bunch of interviews, doing the interview circuit, right? Kind of being a little bit out of character leading into the rematch. Do you think, and this is what Mill City asked, do you think that is something you guys are taking in consideration in preparation for the fight? And what Kenny Ellis said was, look, man, we're not falling for the banana in the tailpipe. We know what Lamont Roach brings to the table. And he says that Lamont Roach is, we're not believing that he's out there drinking or blowing up a bunch of weight and all of that. He says what most people say. Hey, we're going to prepare for the best version of Lamont Roach that is going to, that'll come for us. But the way that he saw the fight coming out was he said he sees it like the fight before, a lot of really crisp shots landing.
Meanwhile, Lamont Roach is preparing for the rematch with calm determination. He's publicly acknowledged Davis's power and admitted the first fight revealed areas he needed to improve. Roach's camp is working overtime, studying extensive footage, preparing for southpaw angles, and elevating his fast-paced attack. He's treating this like a fresh fight, not a sequel. Roach is focused on growth, refusing to rely on what worked before. He's coming in smarter, sharper, and fully prepared for a new kind of battle.
How many rematches have you fought?
0.
What do you have to do to create enough separation where this don't happen again?
It's a good question. It's going to be based on my training camp. I have to push myself a little harder if that didn't get me the win. And I have room. I definitely have room. I'm not going to lie, I have room.
You believe you fought the best Gervonta, or do you think he got some more gears?
100% for a fact. I think he might have some more gears, but I fought the best Gervonta that night. I don't want people to get it misconstrued or whatever the case may be. He's a hell of a fighter. Hell of an IQ, great punching power. Good speed, and a really good boxing ability. A lot of people underrate that. Don't think because of what I did, y'all think y'all can just go in there and think y'all can have the same night, you know what I'm saying, or do the same thing. He still will go upside your head and crack you, and you know what I'm saying, you might end up on the floor. Everybody not built the same, and that's what people getting messed up. He did a whole lot of things that was good in that fight, a whole lot. And I'm telling you right now, if he wasn't as good of a fighter as he was, that would have been, you know what I'm saying? I would have steamrolled him. Don't get that misconstrued. He's still the guy he is. It's just he ran into a guy that's on the same level.
Insiders are pointing to a key detail from the first fight. Davis's fall may not have been from a clean hit. It's been suggested that slippery hair product got into his eyes, causing irritation and momentary blindness. For Team Davis, this changes the narrative. That stumble isn't seen as a weakness now, but as a fluke. And the solution? Simple. Tighten pre-fight preparation, remove distractions, and focus on the small stuff. It's a technical fix that could make a big difference. This time around,
he got a good chin. Oh, he got a good chin. If you got a good chin, okay, let's go ahead. Let's touch this. The chin ain't the only thing that can get you out of there. There's other things you can do and then go back to the chin. I won't go into details, but I look at shit different from a lot of people, man. You know what I'm saying? If you got a fighter that listen, he's gonna be a hell of a fighter if he listens to what I tell him. You know, all fighters don't listen because some missions you put them on, you gotta walk through hell to get it done. And every fighter is not willing to walk through hell. You know what I mean? But the chin is not the only thing to get a fight out of it, and the body's not the only thing to get a fight out of it. It's other shit too, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You gotta hurt. I believe in hurting them. You can hurt. You gotta hurt them to get it started, you know?
Mm-hmm. PD, thank you for the $2. People were surprised by Roach and Tank. What do you think the biggest surprise was in the fight?
It wasn't a surprise because we know Roach. It wasn't a surprise.
Mm-hmm.
Roach can fight. A lot of people think because a person is not popular, that they don't exist. There's fighters out there that can rumble. They just got to get the opportunity, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Mayweather also weighed in on the controversial draw, calling it surprising but not outrageous. He stood firmly behind Davis, chalking up the result as just a temporary dip rather than a loss of skill. He gave Roach credit for his courage, but reminded fans that the result adds a layer of doubt to Davis's once invincible image. Jeff's comments strike a balance. He's loyal to Davis, but honest about what's at stake. Now, Davis must prove again that he's in a league of his own.
Jeff Mayweather here at the Mayweather Boxing Club. How are you doing, sir?
Okay.
You don't look okay.
No, well, I am.
All right, well, we got this potential rematch everybody wants to see, Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach. First of all, are you surprised that everybody's wanting to see a rematch between these two? Because no one expected it to be a close fight in the first place.
That much is true. And me, myself, I mean, I'm a big Tank fan. And I was shocked. I was shocked at the outcome of the fight.
Who did you have winning the fight?
I had Roach winning the fight.
Yeah. Do you consider robbery, or do you lean Roach and are cool with the draw?
I wouldn't say it was a robbery. I mean, the fight was close. But if I was a judge, I would have gave Roach the fight.
All right. Well, talking about this rematch, what do you? I mean, so the one thing Tank always had for him, everyone, he had that kind of almost like Mike Tyson-esque, right? The air of invincibility, the knockout power. People were scared of him, that
Right.
kind of thing. Do you think what Roach did to him, moving up in weight, and not being a big puncher himself, but able to withstand Tank, that kind of his air of invincibility has maybe been slightly diminished?
I won't say it's been diminished, but I do think that more people, more fighters that probably were afraid of him are not going to be afraid of him anymore.
And do you think that's almost something that could play in Tank's hand, right? Maybe we had an off day. Everybody has an off day, and take him.
Yeah, everybody can have off night, but I think the one thing that is the most important thing that nobody's talking about is the fact that
Shocker Stevenson added his own perspective, bringing more insight to Roach's challenge. He complimented Roach's unusual style and pointed out technical issues that Davis will need to address in the rematch, coming from a top-tier fighter. Like Stevenson, the praise adds weight, suggesting Roach isn't just a lucky underdog, but a legitimate threat. His breakdown shifts the story. This isn't just Davis trying to reclaim dominance, but it's about solving new puzzles and proving he can outthink a complicated opponent.
What does the rematch look like between Lamont and Gervonta, you think?
I like Lamont in the rematch.
You were one of the few that kind of picked Lamont to begin with. Why was that?
I sparred with Lamont. I knew that he was a good fighter. He helped me get ready for the Oscar Valdez fight. And I knew his style, with Tank's style, what he was going to be able to bring to the table. I knew it. So.
Did you really win 20 rounds?
I swear to God, on my daughter's life, I won that much money.
How different does a rematch look in your opinion, Shakur? What adjustments do you think we see from both?
Huh?
What adjustments do we see from both in a rematch?
I think I can't tell you game plans. I could be fighting these guys, so I'm gonna keep my secrets to myself. But truthfully, they both good fighters.
Do you think it's a lot different rematch, or do you think it'll be close again?
It's gonna be a hell of a fight.
How did you see Tank in that fight? A lot of people are saying maybe he's just mentally not there. What did you see?
Nah, he was the same Tank. I don't believe that. I don't got no thought in my brain that makes me think that he wasn't the person he been all of these other fights. I think he was the same person. All this stuff that he going through stuff, I mean, everybody go through stuff. So he's the same fighter. He's going to be the same fighter throughout his career. So.
Mikey Garcia believes Gervonta-Davis absolutely has what it takes to win the rematch, but only if he brings more than just physical ability. Gervais emphasized that focus and mental clarity will be just as important as conditioning and technique. If Davis comes into the fight distracted or under pressure outside the ring, it could cost him the victory. Garcia's words are a reminder. To win big fights, talent isn't enough. Davis must bring his sharpest mind along with his sharpest punches.
I'll let you go because I know you got a lot of shit to do. Lamont Roach versus Gervonta, the rematch. Looks like it's going to happen, hopefully.
I think Tank wins in the rematch.
Why?
I think he'll make the right adjustments, and he won't take too long to fight. He kind of gave a lot of the round away sometimes. I think he'll be more active and he'll win. But big props to Roach for his last fight and performance. Fuck, surprised everybody.
Right.
I think he was robbed from the victory. Again, that knockdown should have been a knockdown.
Right.
But whatever, he gets a rematch, you know. And maybe they get a third fight, you know, after that. Who knows?
Yeah. Maybe it turns the markets back out.
Maybe it turns out to be another great fucking matchup, and they say, you know what, let's run it back.
Right.
And maybe that controversy from the first fight actually helps Roach fucking get 3 fights out of it instead of just the one, or, you know, you never know.